going on, everybody? Something I want to talk about today. You know, um, within reading my book, actually, I'm gonna show you just so that y'all have a good understanding of where I get, most of my knowledge from. Well, some of it. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I ain't got a beard no more. Fucking sucks, I know. All right, so in my book, by Robert Greene, 33 Strategies of War is a great fucking book. Let me tell you, you will find all kinds of, it's not like, people shouldn't take it so literal. It's not really, yes, it's war, but it talks about different types of warfare. And the key component to any type of warfare is a balanced mind. So I'll go to a chapter here in this book and recite some stuff from it. It's basically the preamble of this book. Alright, so where is it at? So the polarity strategy: declare war on your enemies. Life is an endless battle and conflict. You cannot fight effectively unless you can identify your enemies. Learn to smoke out your enemies, to spot them by signs and patterns that reveal hostility. Then once you have them in your sights, inwardly declare war. Your enemies can fill you with purpose and direction. 2. The guerrilla war of mind strategy. Do not fight the last war. What most often weighs you down, brings you misery, is the past. You must consciously wage war against the past and force yourself to react in the present moment. Be ruthless on yourself. Do not repeat the same tired methods. Wage guerrilla warfare on your mind, allowing no static lines of defense, making everything fluid and mobile. 3. Amidst the turmoil of events, do not lose your presence of mind, the counterbalance strategy. In the heat of battle, the mind tends to lose its balance. It is vital to keep your presence of mind, maintaining your mental powers, whatever the circumstances. Make the mind tougher by exposing it to adversity. Learn to detach yourself from the chaos of the battlefield. Create a sense of urgency, the death ground strategy. You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of your future instead of engaging in the present. Cut your ties to the past. Enter unknown territory. Place yourself on death ground, where your back is against the wall and you have to fight like hell to get out alive. Now, all three of these is something I want to talk about today. Whenever we declare war on enemies, you know what I mean? It's just like, there's certain things, your enemies don't necessarily have to be, like the people that you just don't like. Your true enemies really are your friends, your family, and people that you are close to. Because when you are close to somebody, they know everything about you, damn near. They know your weaknesses. They know what pisses you off, what makes you sad. They know your past, or somewhat of your past. So they are, and then whenever you guys have arguments tend to be so sincere whenever they are out of anger, and whenever people say, they say shit that they didn't mean to say within an argument that was out of anger, that's bullshit. They did mean to say that. It's just, I'll get to that here in a minute. But a way that I noticed that you can smoke out your enemies is just notice their patterns. You know what I mean? If you start to suspect that they are up to suspicion, that they are up to like a deceptive move, or they are being very deceptive about something, and you can sense it, like they're acting very brand new and very different, you are actually pretty fucking right. If you feel that in your gut, if you're saying that in your head, you're not going fucking crazy. Don't tell yourself that, because you're not. You are following your instincts. You are following your gut. You are following your mind. You are noticing their patterns of deception. So, whenever you notice that, declare war. Regardless of whoever the fuck it is. Because that's the thing, man. If you don't, they're gonna run all over you. You gotta be in defensive mode damn near all the fucking time. Whenever it comes to people that you're close to, you know what I mean. You can't let your guard down for a second, because the moment that you do, they're gonna run you over. A story in this book that has to deal with the first one, or the first strategy or whatever. Uh, a king, I think he was in a camp with his soldiers and all that. His soldiers were kind of like forming a mutiny, or kind of were going to betray him. He can sense it. So what he did, instead of him, like going along, instead of him, going out and just being vengeful, and or just going out and making a rash decision, he played back. He sat back, and then whenever they came to him, suggesting all these different things that he knew that would probably not benefit his campaign nor him, he still let it go. He was like, yeah, go ahead. It was odd, They never suspected that of him. So they're thinking, oh, he's weak. Now is the time to attack. But they only fucked themselves over. That is the strategy that you have to have. Like, I think that's the counterbalance. Maybe. But anyway, but yeah, learn to smoke out your enemies, and then once you smoke out your enemies, declare absolute war until there is nothing left. Do not fight the last war, the real war state of mind. So, in this chapter, we have many fucking impulses that are very powerful to us. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, for me, anger. Anger and rage is definitely a big factor of mine, and has fucked up, a lot of shit for me, because because I'm so quick and so prone to anger. It's just second nature to me. So, whenever the guerrilla warfare state of mind is like this. So, as you can see on my wall here, I have my mantras, I have my affirmations, my daily ritual. Part of my daily ritual, just one of the many things that I wrote down. And so my daily ritual, speak my mantras and affirmations. 2, hail to Odin, Thor, Freya, Frigg, Tyr, Nod, my Disir, and power animal. 3, listen to a good song while brushing my hair and teeth. I need to add more to that too. But anyway, then my mantras. When acting a certain way that is loud, impatient, unnecessary, talking too much, foolish, and out of anger, repeat in head or out loud, be calm, be silent, be patient. And then, when memories of bad past events, people, pain, sadnesses, and old loves occur, repeat in head and out loud, that was then, this is now. That was then, this is now. When loneliness, self-doubt, fear, depression, sadness, anger, etc. occur, repeat in head or out loud, lion heart, wolf soul, bear rage. Lion heart, wolf soul, bear rage. When weakness of strength, hard obstacles, confusion occur, repeat in head or out loud, strong limbs, clear mind, fierce will. Strong limbs, clear mind, fierce will. And best believe that motherfucker worked like a charm today at work. But anyway, and then my affirmations. I am a wolf. I am a bear. I am a lion. I am strong. I am a man. I am a beast. I am a son of Odin. I am a wolf of Odin. I am in need of more knowledge and wisdom. Now, oh yeah, and the other ones. Do not let your... these are like the first mantras that I made, but, they really help. Do not let your past affect your present or your future. 2, you're a warrior, do warrior shit, today, tomorrow, and the days after. 3, read the 33 strategies of war. 4, honor the gods. 5, read and write in your workbook every day. 6, be calm, be silent, be patient. Be like water. To a degree. So basically what that is doing what I'm doing is I'm developing methods to declare self-directed war on myself, so that whenever those things occur within my life, I can like if I start thinking of my past fucking ex-family, you know what I mean? Whenever I start thinking of them, that was then, this is that. That was then, this is now. That was then, this is now. That was then, this is now. And I redirect my attention elsewhere. That way I don't let the past memories of my former family affect me and who I am. And then, you know, I have a tendency to sit there and run my mouth a lot whenever I should be doing this. I think I've said that in one video. So that's why I came up with, and I learned this from Elliot Hulse. The most manliest thing that a man can do, the most alpha male thing that a man can do, is this. That is the most manliest thing any man on this planet can do, to sit there and shut your mouth, breathe, and let your mind be open to shit. Because you can't, whenever your mind, okay, our emotions are more powerful than our mind. Our mind is very weak, to be completely honest. Our emotions are very powerful, and they're very instinctive. Like, whenever certain shit happens in our life, we tend to rely on that fucking emotion, because that emotion was there at that particular moment in time. It's like whenever you smell something, and you start reminiscing on where that smell came from. You know, like, that smell has so much of a familiar smell. And then you start thinking of all these different past memories and all this different shit. Then that's when your mind starts racing. It's crazy as hell. But you can sit there and be calm, be silent, be patient. You can sit there in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all the rushing and bullshit go on. You just sit back. As Elliot Hulse says, breathe into your nuts. Breathe out. Speak your affirmations. Speak your fucking, speak your mantras, you know? Be calm, be silent, be patient. Be calm, be silent, be patient. Be calm, be silent, be patient. These mantras help for a fucking reason. Whenever you're repeating something in your head and you're thinking on it and you're meditating on it, it starts to sink in and it starts to become a part of your character. So that is why it is very important to have mantras to declare self-directed warfare on yourself. Now, granted, there's other things that you can do that are very great techniques in the process of, you know, self-directed warfare. Alright, so what else did I have in here that I didn't talk about? That was fucking weird. In the midst of turmoil of events, do not lose your presence of mind. In the heat of okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyway. Whenever we have a situation that occurs within our life, breathe. Fucking breathe. I cannot stress that enough. Fucking breathe. Breathe. No, and not like, not that bullshit. Breathe in. All the way to your nuts. All the way to your pelvic floor. All the way back up. And how I like to do it, I like to visualize. Breathe in the good shit. Breathe out the bad shit. And swear on everything. Visualization helps out tremendously. So that is definitely something you can do as well. But you cannot let your fucking self get... You cannot lose focus. You cannot lose consciousness. So it's basically the same shit, you know, that I was just sitting there talking about. Create a sense of urgency and desperation. The death ground strategy. You are your own worst enemy. Yes, you are. Ultimately, you waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Now, in this book that I've read about a certain samurai, this dude, and I love how he fucking reacted to shit. His name is Masato Musashi. He fought three different samurais that were undefeated and different things like that. The first battle that I read about that he fought with somebody. Okay, let me just explain Mayato Musashi at first. He would show up ridiculously late for any duel. His opponents would be pissed. His opponents would think that he's not taking the shit seriously. You know what I mean? And they'll start, running their mouth, yapping at the lip or whatever. But the thing is, they're always like, yeah, I'm gonna use this technique. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use this type of weapon, and yada yada yada, this, that, and everything else, because this shit worked for me in the past. Oh yeah, I think you can understand where I'm getting at with this. So, the first battle, Musashi actually, there was a certain family or whatever that he was often at every fucking moment. Well, this one that he was about to fight was gonna ambush him. Dishonorable to all degree. But what that person did not know, he was thinking, oh, Musashi is actually just gonna is just gonna come late or whatever, and then we could just ambush him, and then he'd be done. What they didn't know is Musashi was already in the trees. Jumps down, cuts his fucking ass in half. Then, all the other fucking people that he had that was going to ambush him, oh, guess what they did? Froze up like sticks. And then, he went off them, one by one. Beast mode. He didn't let the present, he was within the present. He was within the present moment. He tried a different strategy, basically. He wasn't relying on what the fuck he did before. Second battle. Or second duel. He was fighting this dude named Bacon or whatever. Bacon, his weapon was a shield, was a morning star with a sickle attached to a chain. So the whole objective of the fucking of that weapon is to swing it as far as much as you can, making your opponent move backwards. So that whenever they get the fucking notion that you're within that reach of that morning star, they can let loose the grip and then let the momentum of the ball travel, and then it can hit you. And if that didn't work, then they also got the sickle. Musashi, instead of using just one sword like he usually does, he used a short one and a long one. Unusual. So he shows up late this time. And then, of course, his opponent is pissed. Beyond pissed. So what does he do? He throws the ball. Musashi takes the long sword, deflects it, comes in, just stabs him with the other one. Not expecting shit. Then, the last battle, Gan Ryu was also a very undefeated samurai. But, and I think this is my favorite fight between Musashi and that was in Musashi's history. So Musashi, he comes to the island that Gan Ryu was at. Now Gan Ryu had this big, long, beautiful sword, and everybody marveled at the sword whenever they seen it. He was a beast with it. So Musashi actually shows up late again. Gan Ryu was pissed, and then he approaches on a boat half asleep. So Gan Ryu is really fucking pissed because he's not being taken seriously. Musashi hops out the boat, puts a dirty towel around his head, and then instead of using a sword or using two swords, he uses a fucking oar. A long ass fucking oar that I believe he sharpened at the end. Oh, Gan Ryu was definitely fucking pissed now. he was kind of laughing too, but he was really pissed. He was just like, this fool brings the fucking, how dishonorable, you know? He really takes me that, he really doesn't take me that serious? Frustrated. So, again, Ryu charges at him, comes down, tries to come down. Musashi trips his ass, takes that fucking ore, uses it like a spear, ends him. The whole point of that is Musashi was within the present moment. He knew, he heard about their weapons. He heard about their weapons, and he came up with a strategy on how he can engage with that certain weapon. He didn't focus on the shit that he used back then, the same or different or the same fucking formulas that he used back then for success. Because if he would have, that wouldn't have fucking worked. That's the thing. Like whenever people have this saying, it's just because that worked before doesn't mean it'll work now. And that is beyond fucking true. You cannot keep, the same patterns. You know what I mean? You gotta, be fluid, be mobile. Napoleon Bonaparte was a perfect example of this. He fought a general that was so keen to following a ancient general's methods and formulas, and ended up costing him a town, his people, and his army, and a battle, because he was using coaches for nourishments for his soldiers, while Napoleon's troops were all carrying their own supplies, making them more fluid, making them more mobile. And at every turn, Napoleon had troops coming in and surrounding them. Napoleon was in presence of mind. He was within the present moment. He evaluated the situation, and he just came up. He just got creative. So basically, be creative in how you go about shit. The whole point of this video, if you're still watching it, is make sure you know who your enemies are. Make sure you know who your enemies are. And once you know who they are, declare war on them. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's start with this. Create a guerrilla warfare state of mind. Fucking get rid of bad habits, or at least try your best to fix them and self-correct yourself. That's the first key. Second key, be within the present moment. You know what I mean? Don't be drawn to the past. Third, know who your enemies are and declare war on them. And fourth, that's basically it. Come up with many different things, many different things that will benefit your mind. We only have, we use 10% of this motherfucker, people don't really like to do a lot of shit with this, So if you could be that one person to sit there and do shit like this that I got on my wall, or work on your mind while you still, just taking time out of your day to work on your mind and to read and to understand the way that the world works and the way that fucking war works and the way that peace works. Because without war, you cannot have peace. So if you want peace in your life, you need to understand war. And you need to understand that the first key component of any type of warfare is the betterment of this fucker. Because if you don't better this motherfucker, you ain't gonna be shit. I hope that this made some sense to people. not, that's fine. Hope you guys have a great day. Helsa.